Alright, back friend on the beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another collaboration beer. This time between Hop Butcher for the World, and they are out of Chicago, Illinois, and the Tampa Bay Brewing Company, and they are out of Tampa, Florida, and this is their Gulf Coastal. So this is a Mosaic, Anchovy, and Amarillo-hopped double IPA that comes in at 8% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed. Time of review. This can is approximately 1 month old. I want to give a huge thanks and shout out once again to Hop Butcher for this beer. So big thanks to them. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies they sent my way. And they sent me 12 beverages in total, 6 of which were unique. 5 of those beers and a hop water, and this is the 6th and final beverage from said beer mail that I'm reviewing. Did I save the best for last? I have no idea, but I'm really excited about this one. Never had anything from the Tampa Bay Brewing Company, although I've heard very good things. And this uses and is brewed with anchovy hops, which are relatively new as far as I know. I've had a couple beers with anchovy hops in them over the past 6 months, but I haven't reviewed any. Very interesting hop. The beers I've had, it was like anchovy with a couple other hops like this, so I can't specify what I actually got from anchovy hops, but I know that they're relatively new because I haven't heard about them until recently, and I don't think they're like a experimental hop that has been named, but I could be wrong on that. I don't know if it was like HBC whatever, and now it's anchovy, or if it's just right from the get-go, it was just called anchovy. But anyway, I'm really excited about this one. Tasting notes on the back, I haven't read them yet. We'll crack this one open, get into the hashtag proper glassware, and go from there. So right around a month old, this one is. And everything they sent to me was super fresh, like typical, and I was able to get to all of the beers in ample time, at least in my opinion. So anyway, we're going to give this a nice pour in the glass here. And yeah, it has that, the milky look that you kind of expect from Hop Butcher beers nowadays, although spilling some here, as you can see. But the key thing for me in terms of spilling it is that I noticed that the head was being kind of ridiculous. So we're not going to pour this all in. Plus, this is going to have the goodies at the bottom, like most of Hop Butcher's beers that have like the caked on yeast sediment, hop particles, whatever. And a lot of times you pour that into the beer and it gets a little gnarly at the bottom. You can see chunks and stuff. So, all right, we'll give you a look of the beer just in the glass, how it should be. Now, this isn't as dark as some of the other ones I've had. This has more like a vibrant orange color to it, murky turbid, can't see through it. Almost 3 fingers of this great. Like all of the hop forward beers they sent me this time around have this kind of head. I don't know if they've kind of perfected it, but it just has like a lemon meringue pie kind of like whipped topping to it where like it leaves beautiful glass lacing, but kind of doesn't go anywhere. And then in the hashtag proper glassware, it looks even better. Like it pops with that purple kind of, font color. It just looks absolutely fantastic in my opinion. This is a beautiful, beautiful looking double IPA. Hold up to light. Yeah, it just looks fantastic. Let's get a nose. Ranky, danky, sticky, over-ripened stone and tropical fruit. 100%. It's orange is tangerine. So I didn't even say citrus, but I just went back. It's orange and tangerine for sure. Yeah. Stank, dank, orange. I'd say pineapple, mango. It's a little bit of like a over-ripened, kind of like honeydew melon. Man, it smells so fresh. It smells very fresh. Yeah, it almost has, I haven't said this in a while, it almost has that like green onion kind of garlicky kind of dank kind of quality. Reminds me of old school Summit hops where it was just kind of like green onion and basically garlic. That's kind of what I'm getting here on top of that beautiful, fruity kind of vibe. Maybe a touch of like a berry mosaics in here. So I'd say more of like a red berry. Every time I go back, it's very dank. And it's not even, usually when I say dank, it's like, again, marijuana-esque. This has just, again, a big like green onion, scallion type of thing. Wow, every time I go back, it's crazy how intense it is. Yeah, so I'd say orange, mango, pineapple, and honeydew melon, not specifically in that order, but just kind of what I'm getting. Like, I guess in order of like how I talked about it, but I think I said melon. No, I think I said melon last. But yeah, it's just that covered by scallions, green onion, garlic. I know that might sound weird for some of you out there, but if you've been drinking, hop forward beers for a good, 10 plus years, you might remember the days of Summit hops, which would provide that. And then a lot of other beers over the years that give you that kind of dang kind of onion garlicky thing. It doesn't happen to me too often, but it's definitely happening in this one. Yeah, I want to get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again to Hop Butcher. Yeah, no doubt. Oh. Again, I don't know what anchovy hops bring to the table. Wow, that was kind of weird. Took a sip, first couple seconds, everything's, lottie freaking da, and then something kind of different happened there. Not expecting that. Wow. This is very, very heavy on that scallion, garlic, dank, vegetal, tomato stock finish. Holy shit. Body isn't spectacular with this one. A lot of their beers that I've had recently, body has been phenomenal. This, 8%, medium, touch over medium body. A little bit thinner than anticipated. It's not watery, it's just, I guess I've been spoiled from Hop Butcher recently with their bodies and mouthfeels, where their bodies drink bigger than their ABV and the mouthfeels are spectacular. The body on this one, it's a little bit thin for what I'm expecting from them. Maybe not as a whole, but 8% medium body, yeah, it's a bit thin. The mouthfeel is also not upper echelon. It's more of it's smooth. It's softer than you'd anticipate. It's like mild and moderately carbonated, but it's not really creamy. It's just soft and smooth. So I'll say this, any other brewery, or I shouldn't say any other brewery, but for Hop Butcher, the body mouthfeel is slightly disappointing. Just be honest with you. As a whole, for like an 8% double IPA, I think it's fine. But, I hold Hop Butcher to a higher standard because they make fantastic beer. And I think the body mouthfeel is a little bit lacking. The taste, though, is pretty fantastic, especially through the first 3/4, maybe 4/5 of the palate. Up front, it's orange and tangerine. It has a pithy, zesty, just like sharpness to it. It's not super juicy, maybe a little bit of juice from the orange and tangerine, just like, a little bit of juicy quality to it. But for the most part, it's like zesty, rindy, pithy, which I love. As it passes through, I get more of a non-generic, or more of a nondescript, generic stone fruit. You could say mango, peach, maybe apricot. I wouldn't call you a liar at that point. It just definitely has a stone fruit kind of vibe to it about midway through the palate. After that, underlying red berry of some sort. I couldn't specify it. It's nice, it's sweeter, but it's subtle and more subdued. And then on the finish, I get honeydew melon. It's an kind of over-ripened, creamy honeydew melon that I love honeydew. You could say cantaloupe too, but my preference is honeydew, and I think this leans a little bit more honeydew, but you could probably say either. You could say generic melon. Definitely not watermelon, though. However, when I say definitely not watermelon, right after that, when I said it was kind of weird, I'm getting this very slight Jolly Rancher watermelon character. Very slight right after that. But then it transitions quickly into that dank, ranky dank kind of finish. And it kind of just goes away instantly. So it happens every single time I take a sip. Yeah, zesty, slightly juicy, but pithy, orange and tangerine. A little bit of that nondescript stone fruit. Yeah, underlying like red berry, honeydew melon. Now I didn't get that like Jolly Rancher watermelon as much as this time. Anyway, the finish, it has that melon character, just kind of like lingers to the back of the palate. But again, this is green onion, garlic, a little bit of like a tomato stock. It has almost a slight vegetal kind of feel. No hop burn whatsoever. Like there's no burning, there's no astringent kind of feel. It just feels like this is more like earthy and vegetal than the nose was indicating. The glass lacing is absolutely phenomenal. 8%. There's no warning in my chest. Nothing on the palate. If anything, I would guess this is a little bit lower than 8% because of the body and mouthfeel being a little bit lacking. It is sweet as a whole, but man, it's really dry on the palate. It's like firmly dry, mild to moderate bitterness, but really dry. So this one's balanced out. This is one of the few beers from this past package where it's not that sweet. Like the other one's Lord Galactopus. I forget the other one. A Roar of Colors. Yeah, those are so. This is the third. I think they sent third. They said the Oktoberfest. They sent the lager, the Butcher Gold, and they sent hop water. So this is the least sweet of the three, but this is all over the place for me in terms of my enjoyability here. The body and mouthfeel being a little bit lacking, kind of a bummer. It doesn't ruin the experience or anything because, again, it's an expectation I have for Hop Butcher for the body and mouthfeel. It's not reaching that, but also it's not bad as a whole. If I was doing this blind, I'd be like, oh, it's fine. It's 8% double IPA, cool. But since it's Hop Butcher, I got to critique them and I got to be a little bit more hard on them. But the flavors are beautiful. It's just that finish, it's lingering. Again, it might be a little bit too much of that garlic onion thing. Like I like that, especially since it's rare for me to get it, but it might be a little bit too overpowering as a whole. Then again, I really like the fact that this is pretty well balanced. I don't know how to score this. Let's just say this. Lord Galactopus was the best hop forward beer of this last package. A Roar of Colors was second place. This is going to come in third place, but not by a whole lot. I think I gave Lord Galactopus a 4.5. I gave Roar of Colors a 4.2. I'll go slightly lower probably on this one, but let's pour in all the, let's see, is all the goodies? Oh yeah, look at all that gross shit. Look at it. You probably won't be able to see it, but it might see it. Like it looks like fucking, like orange seeds and whatnot. My camera sucks. Once I start using my new camera here in the future, you'll probably be able to see things a lot better. But anyway, yeah, I think this is really good, but it's different, and there's a couple issues with this one, but as a whole, I think this is a really nice double IPA. I'd have no issues drinking it again, but definitely a one and done beer for me, without question. Most beers are one and done, although I had two today. You're going to see this a week after I reviewed the Butcher Gold, but I'm drinking these on the same day, a couple hours apart. Anyway, Gulf Coastal, collaboration between Hop Butcher and Tampa Bay Brewing Company. I am going to give this a high 4 to 5 and go 4.1. I think that's where it lands. I think if the body and mouthfeel were better and it had a little bit more, a little less of that ranky-dank thing on the finish, this would probably get into the 4.2, 4.25 realm. But as is, a 4.1 still a really nice score, and I think it's a damn nice beer. It's just a bit different from the beers I've had from them over the years. So we do have tasting notes on the back that, half the time I always say, I forget to read them. And I used to forget them quite a bit, but now I'm kind of more on the ball with them. But anyway, tasting notes, juicy melon. I wouldn't say juicy melon, but I did say melon multiple times, so I'm okay with that. Zesty orange. I did say zesty orange. I actually said zesty, pithy, rindy, a little bit juicy orange for sure. Could even say tangerine. Ripe raspberry. I did say red raspberry. I said red berry. I said nondescript red berry. I said generic red berry. So ripe raspberry would be fine by me. Like, again, I got like basically half of these. I said melon, but I didn't say juicy melon. I said zesty orange, and I said a red berry, but I didn't say a ripe raspberry. So I think they're kind of in the realm. Again, I don't know what anchovy is supposed to bring to the table as far as the hop goes. Maybe that melon character. I have no idea, but interesting beer. Price point availability, probably $15-16 a 4-pack in the Chicagoland area. If it makes distro like we see here in Buffalo, New York, it could be $20 to $22 a 4-pack, kind of the going rate, fine by me. And availability, I don't know if this made distro, but you can definitely find it in and around Chicago area. Online websites like Tavor sometimes get their hands on Hop Butcher stuff, and it'll just randomly pop up in a bunch of different areas. You just don't know. Here in Buffalo, like I said, we get some distro here and there, and that's the case for a lot of cities across the U.S. They randomly will get Hop Butcher out of nowhere. So anyway, I'm going to shut this one down. If you've had this one before, post in the comment section. Like I said, 8%, really can't tell. Hides the alcohol quite well. Just the two issues I have with this, body and mouthfeel, a bit lacking, and that garlic onion thing, while I do enjoy that, and it's a rarity for me to get it nowadays, it's a little bit too heavy-handed in this beer on the finish. It's kind of the lingering note on my palate, and it's kind of bothersome from that aspect. So again, I'd be a one and done beer with this, but since I don't get this characteristic as much as I used to back in the day, it's always fun to revisit it. And I do think the first 3/4 of the palate's absolutely spectacular, from that zesty orange to the stone fruit. I got a little bit of like melon and pineapple and berry and stuff. Really nice as a whole. And I like that it's pretty well balanced and not like too sweet like some of the Hop Butcher beers can be. So anyway, if you had before, post comment section. Appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here in the Beer Patrol. Huge thanks to Hop Butcher for this one. My last from their most recent box. Hopefully I can pick up some stuff here in the Buffalo, New York area in the future because I love their beer and it's damn tasty, and it's cool to be able to try out their new offerings and revisit some classics from time to time. To the next one. Cheers.